Hi, guys. It's Sven from Badass Counseling. So we created the Badass Counseling group on Facebook, and it grew to well over 45,000 members. And we kept getting asked by folks for a support group, a growth group that's more intimate, gives more access to me, Sven, if possible. So the Badass Counseling team got together, and they created Community Plus. For a monthly fee that isn't cheap, you get direct access to me 2 times a month where you can submit your questions directly. Monthly drawings for a small group counseling session with me. Monthly drawings for one-on-one counseling sessions with me. Priority Pass access to go to the front of the waiting list for ongoing counseling with me. Priority Pass access to be considered to be counseled by me on the Badass Counseling Show podcast. Direct access to my top 2 selling video courses, Healing the Soul and Unleashing Your Greatness. Interviews with people who've had success in their soul journey, some well-known and some everyday folks like you and me. And a fantastic opportunity to meet and get to know other men and women who take their healing and growth seriously and who do the work. And a social community feed where folks share their challenges, their struggles, and their triumph. And so much more. So go now to badasscounseling.com. Click on the Community Plus sign-up page for premium content and direct access to me and to like-minded people who are committed to healing, growth, and creating a community of support and happiness.
From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Hello, fine people. It's great to have you here. This is the Badass Counseling Show podcast. My name is Sven Erlandson. I am the host of this show. The usurpers have attempted to undermine my power and take over my show, but I still stand on top of my throne saying, I shall not be defeated. I'm here with my team protecting the throne in the booth. Watching my ass, covering my ass, is KC. Next to me, sword aflame, is Rob the Rocket. Rob, what say ye today, young man?
Pretty poetic today, dude.
Or something.
Impressive.
Full of fantasy. How's life, Rob?
Life's good. Life is good, and for those that isn't quite as good, that's why we're here.
Any earworms this week, Rob?
No, actually. I've been a little under the weather, so I've been concentrating on that.
That's good. That is good. I have had some Bob Dylan in my ears this week, so that's good.
As usual.
Well, my girlfriend is a big fanatic of men from Minnesota, and so hence the Bob Dylan thing, I guess.
I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned.
You had to pick that one on my show. All right. I'm teasing. All right, you guys, here we go. We've got everyone checking in. Lots of folks from all around the world. UK, strongly represented. Eastern, Western Wisconsin, strongly represented. We're Oceanside. We're all over. We got lots of folks here. Australia, Berkshires, everything. Here we go. Robin Kiefer, this is an interesting question. Rob, I want you to take a swing at this if you can. See what you think. We'll do it together. And if not, it's okay if you don't want to. Robin Kiefer on Facebook asked the question, what does a guy actually hear when a woman says she wants to take it slow? Any thoughts on that, Rob?
Well, I've been there and done that, and I respect it. You have, of course, some concerns about, is this really going to work? And why do you want to take it slow? But oftentimes I feel the same way, and it's good to see where you're at before you go any further.
Yeah, I like that answer. And the only thing I would add on that is, what does a guy actually hear when a woman says she wants to take it slow? Robin is asking on Facebook. My response is, depends on the guy, right? To me, the right guy for you is the guy who says, I want to take it slow too. Or I want to take it slow to medium. If it's a guy who wants to take it fast, it's not the right guy for you. Not because he's a bad guy, just because he has a different goal. I literally did a post on social media this week. It was a repost from a while back where I talk about one of the problems that couples run into when they begin dating in particular, or at some point, prior to like full-on commitment, is different speeds. is that I want this speed and you want that speed. And it's very easy to say, well, they're a problem. Look, they only want to go fast. Or look, they only want to go slow. I want to go this. I want to go slower. I want to go fast. I want to go medium. There's nothing wrong with someone wanting to go a different speed from you. Now, if they say, I want to go this speed, and then they change their mind later, nothing wrong with that either, as long as we talk it out. So when you say, what does a man hear when a woman says, I want to take it slow? It depends on the man. Everyone's different. But the right one for you is the one saying, yeah, I want to go that speed too. Right? But there's no intrinsic wrong speed. And what some other guy may hear, oh, you just don't want to have sex with me. I'm not doubting there may some people that say that. Or may hear that. Some guys, it's like, if that's all a guy is hearing, it's like, do you really want to be with that fucking guy? It's like, mother of God, come on, no, get away from that shit.
I think that's the main point here.
Right. And unless that's what you want, but if you're around a guy or you're dating men and that all they want is just sex. And we had this question recently on another episode of our show where someone was asking, how come so many men just want situationships nowadays or just want sex? Men over 60 it was. And I said, why do they want that? I guess because they just want to have what are the perks of those situations, likely sex and no commitment and just fun times without the commitment. Nothing intrinsically wrong with that. If that's what they want, okay, go for it.
It's not a relationship.
No, no, technically that's not true. It is a relationship, and it's a relationship that they want. The only problem is it's not the relationship that you want. So are you going into those relationships that you don't want? And if you are, that's on you. If they're making it clear, I don't want that, and you're choosing it anyway, that's on you. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, why would you choose something that you don't want? Well, because that's all they want. Well, who gives a fuck? If it's, I don't want that, then you're confronted with a choice. I either take the relationship that they want, which is really a non-relationship, to Rob's point, or I go be alone and wait for what I want. Well, I don't want to be alone. Okay. Well, then you've got to ask yourself, why the fuck do I not want to be alone? What's really going on? But I just like having somebody. Yes, nothing wrong with that. But is this, I just like having someone, or is I need to have someone? I'm not dogging you. Dude, I've been there. But you've got to go inside yourself and you need to begin to discern what the hell is really going on with me that I need to hold on so desperately tight. I got to have someone. In all likelihood, you are using that person to confirm your worth. All right, next question. XGX clarified a question for me right before the opening of the show. This person had fired in this question. I asked them to clarify, and they did, and I'm grateful. Thank you, XGX. XGX writes in, significant traumatic event caused rocky relationship with mother-in-law to be. Significant traumatic event caused rocky relationship with mother-in-law to be worse. Thinking spaced thoughts.
Spaced thoughts?
No. Caused rocky relationship with them. The thing about TikTok is you only get so many words. So you're doing a great job there. Clear up that end piece. Significant traumatic event caused rocky relationship with mother-in-law to be worse. Thinking space thoughts. I don't understand the thinking space thoughts. A significant traumatic event caused the rocky relationship with your mother-in-law to be worse. I got that part, but I just need to know then what's the question. All right, please. I am not trying to be a pain in the ass, just honestly want to understand. In the meantime, I'm going to go on to the next one, and I swear to God, I'll keep an eye out for you. All right. Claudia Kidsey says, my son is 23 and not motivated at all. He is very isolated from our family, even though he lives at home. Claudia, the hard truth of this is that in all likelihood, one, I'm not saying it is this without knowing more, and you don't really ask a question, but in all likelihood, he is feeling alone, unheard, unseen. Even the way you're framing the question, he is not motivated, implies a problem with him. Implies it. Now, I'm not saying that's how you approach it, but it implies that you see him as having a problem, that he should be doing this. He should be seeing life this way. He should possess motivation. He's not normal. There's something wrong with my son. Now, in all likelihood, I'm willing to bet, if Vegas were giving me odds, I'd bet my left one, that your son feels that pressure. Not just the pressure, but the sense of judgment, condemnation. My parents see me as not normal. My mom sees me as flawed. Now, I know that may not be your intent, but anytime I tell someone you should this, or have you really thought about, you need to do this, I'm fundamentally saying, I don't like you the way you are. You'd be better if you did this. It's a judgment. It's a put down. And so in this particular case, what has to happen is the parent has to change. That's why I always tell people that the biggest thing you can do to transform your parenting is to heal your own past. Why? Because it's going to transform how you go into the equation. Very often, and again, you haven't given me a lot to work with here, Claudia Kizzy, beyond this, so I'm just spitballing, but this is a pattern I've seen so many times, that very often kids in their 20s are very similar to my Rhodesian Ridgeback. If I take my dog Gunner, he's a 95-pound Ridgeback, downtown into the city, and we're walking through an busy intersection, invariably he will stop. What do you do with a 95-pound Ridgeback in the middle of an intersection in New York City? Answer, not a lot. And it's lucky because I can pick him up. I'm strong enough. But if my girlfriend or, my daughter or whatever is, no, you're stuck. You are stuck. He can stop. That is what your son is doing. You're trying to motivate him to do what you want. And I'm betting that pattern of you trying to motivate him to do this or do that did not start at the age of 23 or 22. That has likely been going on his entire life. There has likely been expectations, pushes, you shoulds, you oughts. Have you thought about stuff like that? And so potentially, and I could be wrong on all this. You throw it out the window if you like, if it doesn't fit. I'm willing to bet he is doing what Gunner does. He is stopping because fuck you, is what he's saying. This is my life and you're treating it like it's yours. And I know I'm a disappointment to you. And I know you don't like who I am. And I know you think I'm not normal. Fuck off, is what he's saying, potentially. May not be that, but if I were to bet, I'm betting that's what it is. And so it requires a whole new approach. But in order for you to be able to take a new approach, you have to see yourself differently because you're pushing of him, those expectations that have likely been there the entire time are rooted in how you perceive yourself, your own beliefs about yourself. Why the hell have I been doing this? It's not intrinsically wrong, but where the hell is it really coming from? And that's why you got to read the book. There's a hole in my love cup because it's going to help you drill down to the real motivations and beliefs that are driving you to do what you do, especially parenting. Next question. All right. I want to try to find XGX because I promised XGX that I would answer. All right. I think I should create space between my family, pregnant with the last child, and her maybe better. What's your thoughts? Okay, so there's been a traumatic incident. XGX is asking the question. There's a traumatic incident that's basically caused a problem with the mother-in-law. I think I should create space between my family, pregnant with our last child, and maybe her better. What are your thoughts? Well, if you think that you need to create space with your mother-in-law, I would simply ask you, well, why? First of all, what's really at the heart of it in one sentence or less? And you should be, I'm going to tell you these questions and you need to take them, put them into your journaling, write them down right now, and then journal on them later. Why do you want to do it in one sentence or less? What's your single biggest fear in doing this? Is it fear of backlash from your mother-in-law, from your father-in-law, or from your spouse? And why? What specifically are you most afraid of happening or afraid of them saying? What's your fear in not doing it? What is the impact of your mother-in-law on your family? How much life energy is being drained from you, from your spouse, from your family because of the significant influence, presence of your mother-in-law in your life and in your family's life? And you need to be flushing all of this out, purging all of these thoughts and all of these feelings out in your journaling. And the more you do that, the greater clarity you're going to have. Why? Because right now you're a jumbled, tumbled, mangled, hairy ball of thoughts and feelings inside of you. And the more you get that out and onto paper, you'll begin to see this stuff and you'll have greater clarity, but also you won't be as jumbled, tumbled, mangled inside of you. And so you'll be able to settle into your answer better. But do I think you should create space between you and your family from your mother-in-law better? Sure. If that feels right to you, if it feels right to you. And if you feel like that's what I don't hear you saying, do I think you should? What I hear you saying is, gee, Sven, I want to. Can I have permission to do so? And that's fair, but that's what I'm hearing you saying, and you have to give yourself permission. Do I have the courage to stand up for what I believe is right for myself and for my family? And that's courage. That's leadership. And it's about time, in all likelihood. Next question. Andrea, I will answer that question, but I want you to be more specific. Andrea asked the question, are you familiar with CPTSD? Yes, but I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm a soul counselor. Therefore, all I'm going to ask you to do is change your language and put it, I don't go in their lane and I don't want them in my lane, all right? And so I want you to put it into just normal language. What specifically is the problem that you're talking about? All right. Remove the psychological jargon and just put it specifically. What is your problem? And that you're wanting insight on specifically. All right. In normal everyday language. Okay. Next question. Don Marie Baldwin asked the question, folks, on Facebook. I've been single for 4 years, but I still feel like I'm being unfaithful for wanting to be with someone else. I was with my ex for 19 years, but we both wanted different things. I wanted to save the earth, but he wanted to destroy it. Well, yeah, that qualifies as two different things. And you feel you've been single for 4 years, and I feel like I'm being unfaithful for wanting to be with someone else. What I would encourage you to do, what you just wrote in that paragraph right there, I would encourage you to get a pad of paper and a pen, and I would encourage you to write down as many ways that you feel bad about being with someone else. I feel guilty because I feel like I'm hurting him, or maybe it's, it is a man, I think you said. All right, yeah, he. I feel guilty. I feel like I'm hurting him. I feel like this is betrayal. I'm so sad. And maybe there's feelings of still longing for your ex. There's a question you can ask yourself. Do I still long for her? Do I still love the person? Even though I know it'll never happen, I don't really want it. But yes, I do still have feelings for love. Great. Write him a love letter. Write him a letter of longing. I miss you so much and blah, blah, blah. If it's there, or I just miss laying with you between the sheets naked, or the humpy, or whatever it is. Write him a letter. You still got more feelings. Write it out. Don't send it. Write it out and journal all your feelings, all your thoughts, and keep doing it because you still have feelings and thoughts inside of you that need to come out. And the more you do that, guess what? It'll become effortless to go and do that what you want to do. And that's just sort of move on with your life. And you feel like you're feeling unfaithful. Great. Write about that. Write about guilt. Write about sadness. Write about, obviously, you still feel connected, which implies love. Journal about that. Write those letters. And the more you get it out, it's not in. Until it's out of you, it's still in you. Next question. And this goes to Rick over on TikTok. Really, it's the exact same answer, Rick. Rick says, how do I get through agoraphobia? My throat gets tight and I choke on every bite from anxiety. It's really the exact same thing. It's beginning to go into those feelings and flush them out. But in the case of this one, there are deeper core beliefs that are causing you to have this fear. Core beliefs about your own sense of worth, about your own value, your own feeling wanted, your own ability to be loved, your own value. That's why I wrote the book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup, to step you down, to take you through it bit by bit, methodically into the core beliefs you were taught to believe about yourself, because that's what's really operating. This isn't about just changing your behaviors. You have deep core beliefs that you were taught that you can't even see right now, that you have to go into, because until those change, until those are excised, cut out, identified, naming the beast is half the problem, and then cutting them out until that is done, it's still in there. Your behaviors may change, but they'll bounce right back. All right. Next question. Andrea Pearson asked the question, what's the difference in processing in regards to EMDR versus brain spotting? Andrea, I need you to not use psychological language. All right. I'm happy to answer any question you have about your life specifically. I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass. I really want to help you. You're 6'4", you're from Audubon. I'm 6'4", I'm from Lake Park. Please let me help you. But just use normal human language like you're talking to your dumb uncle. All right. I'm the dumb uncle. All right. Just use normal human language. All right.
Uncle Sven, Audie Dottie says, is that really the key? Keep flushing out and expressing?
It's key to part of it. You have to understand that what is causing you so much difficulty in your life for pretty much 95% of everything that anyone's going through right now is pain, fears, and bullshit beliefs you've been taught to believe about yourself. Pain, fears, and bullshit beliefs you've been taught to believe about yourself. The fears are a result of the pain. So really, that's just pain. Some people call trauma bond, trauma, whatever. Dad's anger, mom was an alcoholic, all those, it's pain. All right. My husband's betrayal, pain. All right. But the other piece, and that's a big part of most therapy. In fact, it's the sole part of most therapy, a lot of therapy. But I go down deeper into what are called core beliefs, the things you were taught to believe about yourself, specifically the things that you can't see. That unless you were on the hunt and you had the right tools and you knew what you were looking for, you wouldn't even know what the hell you were looking for. Okay. And that's drilling down to those core beliefs you were taught to believe as a result of their actions, their messaging, their words, their lack of words, their distance, their leaving your life when you were 5, their making you their little psychologist or their mini-me, dad being your coach, being always present, mom always giving you a hug every time you walked into the room. I had a client once, this fella, every time his kids walked into the room, every time his kids, got home from school, every single time, literally they walked into the room, he would say, "Hey, Tommy's here." Literally every single time. He admitted this. Every single time they would walk in or leave a room, he would either give them a hug or touch them, to the point where when his kids were 9, 10, and 11, they're like, "Dad, stop touching me. Enough already." Because he had grown up in a barren wasteland of no touch, no affection, and no words of praise when he was growing up. So he wanted to make sure, so he swung the pendulum. I'm going to do the opposite of my parents. So he did the exact opposite. Well, the opposite of shit can be shit. He went the opposite way. I'm going to be super affectionate and super verbal with my praise and my love, to the point where by the time his children were 9, 10, 11, they didn't want hugs anymore, and they didn't want to hear his bullshit because they saw him as a non-credible source. They didn't believe his words of, "Oh, he's so glad to see me." It's just bullshit. Just shut up, Dad. So now they were swinging to what? How do you think they were going to parent their kids maybe in 20 years if he didn't change? They were going to say, "I'm not going to fucking hug my kids. I'm not going to make this mistake Dad made. I'm not going to fucking always be saying how great I am, glad I am to see him." So he's just perpetuating the generational curse by doing the opposite. The opposite of my parents is not a good parenting strategy, by the way. How the hell did I get on that?
I don't know, but Audie says, maybe I've been wondering if I'll ever get to the bottom of this pit.
Oh, yeah, but you just got to have the right tools, Audie. You just got to have the right tools. That's why I wrote Love Cup. Love Cup is 70%, there's a hole in my Love Cup, is 70% of my counseling method in one book, all right? It's not about will I ever. It's ultimately a commitment to going into the shit you're the most scared to go into. This is why you guys always hear me talking about courage. Because the only thing that really has the power to short circuit your healing process is the fear of touching the nastiest, scariest, ugliest stuff. My tools, my videos, my 2,000 plus free videos that I've done on social media, this podcast, the people I counsel, these questions, my books, Badass Wisdom, there's a hole in my Love Cup, the next one I have coming out on cheating in the next month or two, all of this is going to take you to the ugly shit. And the counseling I do with clients, obviously, and the do-it-yourself video courses, all of it, I'll take you to the ugly, nasty, scariest shit. The question is, do you have the courage to go into it? Do you have the courage to look at the truths that are there? On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay. Well, you've heard the podcast. You've listened to other people's issues. Maybe you've studied hundreds of Sven's TikTok videos. Time to stop lurking, face your fears, and focus directly on the one person in your life who can benefit the most from Sven's experience and insight. Now, that would be you. Just go to badasscounseling.com and order Sven's book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. Or check out his many video courses. Sven found a way to help himself out of a 12 years depression. It worked for him, and it can work for you too. Check out badasscounseling.com today.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform, and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with the Badass Counseling Show podcast. We've got some rapid fire questions here that we are taking. Super rapid fire right now, actually. Pamela Habato over on Facebook asks the question, my 13-year-old daughter is being trained to hate me. I've done everything I can to try to relate to her so she can see the truth. My ex-wife is mentally manipulating her and it's literally killing me. Her birthday was yesterday and she wouldn't even answer, etc. Pamela, I've literally lived through exactly what you were talking about. I remember getting a Father's Day card once, and it said, thanks for the DNA. And then my child signed their name. I shot back which part of your DNA actually do you like that I gave you? No answer. And I went through it, and it started when they were about 6 and 2, particularly with one of my kids. And it lasted well over a decade and a half or more. So there's some interaction, but a lot of fucking pain. And as I was talking about, it wasn't on this show or the last show, but I had to get in my head, I'm going to play the long game. I knew I had only one thing on my side. And Pamela, you need to understand this. You have one thing on your side and only one thing. You can keep trying to bring the love, and you have to. Furthermore, all that pain that you say is literally killing you, it will literally kill you only if you let it literally kill you. You have to be getting all that out of you. You have to be actively talking to your therapist. You have to be actively talking to your clergy person, whatever. You have to be actively journaling, writing letters to your child, letters to your ex that you don't send, flushing it out. You have to. Otherwise, it will choke you inside. But you have one thing on your side, other than those tools to get that pain out of you. And I have lived what you are living, literally the exact same thing, for longer than you have. Today, my children are in their 30s. I'm very, very close, and they are close to me, and I'm close to their wives and my grandchildren. Okay? New, 4 months, 5 months, 4.5 months. You have one thing on your side. Time. If you can play the long game and not the short game, not only the short game, but especially the long game, you have time on your side. Why? Because 13-year-olds become 35-year-olds. That's what you have on your side. If you can wait 22 years, and mine happened far sooner. It happened when my kids were in their 20s. If you can wait till they are 35, guess what happens around mid-30s generally? Sometimes sooner. Sometimes later, but generally mid-30s. What happens? Children become adults. Not just, the adults of 20s, they look like adults, but where they really begin to see through adult eyes. They begin to see people for who they are. They begin to see one of the hardest things in life. Villains become heroes, and heroes become villains. Man, it's heartbreaking, and it's hard to let go of the heroes we wanted to be heroes. And it can be hard to wrap our heads around that, holy shit, the villain wasn't a villain. She follows up with, do I continue to reach out to her even though I get ignored? Sure, because otherwise you're using it to get your feelings met. You're saying, I'm only going to reach out to you if you respond. She doesn't exist to meet your needs, Pamela. You exist to meet her needs. You think she doesn't love you. People. I have clients in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s still trying to get the love of an adult parent who's dead. Even though they've gone through hell, your child still loves you. And for those of you who are going through a divorce, guess what? You may not like it, but your child loves your ex too. You want them to only love you, but they love your ex too. But what that means, Pamela, in this case, is your child still loves you, even though they're being conditioned to hate you. They're in a shitty spot because they love you. It's just not safe for them to express that love. You really think that's your child talking? It's not your child talking. Your child loves you, and your child needs to be reminded that you love her, and you need to get over your shit. And by getting over it, I mean you need to get it out of you, because your own pain that your child needs to meet my needs and give me love and give me love and give me love. Your child does not exist to pour love into your love cup. You exist to pour love into your child's love cup. That means all that pain that you're feeling, and I have been where you are longer than you have. I know that pain. The visceral, searing, scorching pain at the soul level. I know it, Pamela. So I speak to you as a fellow traveler down that ugly ass path. You have to be deliberate about getting your sorrow, your pain, your rage out of you, because it's standing in the way of you being a deliverer of love to the person that needs it most. You think this is your child talking to you, saying they don't like you? No, it's not. Your child is the little puppet. Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy. Your daughter's just a little puppet of the other parent. It's not your child talking, but your child's soul is still in there, and it needs nourishment from you saying, I still love you, child, and I know you love me. And I don't need you to love on me right now, but you need to know I still love you and adore you, and you're my child in whom I am well pleased. 2 more questions, and we're going to call it a day, folks. David Cray over on TikTok says, why do cheaters angrily blame the person they're cheating on during and after they're cheating? Because they can, David. They're doing it because that keeps the focus off of them and on you. And as long as I keep the focus on, and I've been in this situation, long-term relationships, as long as they keep the focus on how bad Sven is, even if Sven wasn't bad, not the point. I want to keep the focus on you, cocksucker. Why? Because then no one will look at me. And I don't want to admit that I've done anything bad. I don't want people to think that I'm bad. I want to keep up appearances. All right, next question. And the truth is, you have every right in the world to stand up for yourself. Every right and responsibility in the world, especially if there are children involved, to stand up and speak your truth, to at least stand up for yourself. Even if you do or don't disparage the other person, you have a right to stand up for yourself. Andrea, I'm waiting for your follow-up here on Facebook. I really do want to answer your question, Andrea. Okay, here we go. Andrea says, and this is someone from my home country, so I feel obligated to answer. When I say my home country, I mean like really, really like within 10 miles where I was born and grew up. For the first 6 years of my life, little town, northern Minnesota. Andrea says, I'm going into my ugly, nasty shit. Vulnerability is my most difficult challenge, as it is with all of us. But I'm doing it, she says. My biggest fear is that sharing that with my husband is going to wreck me if it's not received well. But I know that it is necessary for our relationship. We've been together 20 years. How can I help myself with that fear and healing? Well, I've been talking about fear and healing this whole time. And what do we have to do with all fear and all pain and all fear of getting hurt again and distrust, all feelings? Flush. Get it out on your own, in your journaling, in your writing letters you don't send. Start there. Because that stuff, don't instantly jump into talking with him. Get it out first. Why? It's going to give you greater clarity. It's going to give you greater peace inside. Start there. Journal your fucking ass off and write out letters to him that you don't give to him. And just get it out first. It's going to calm you down inside. Trust me. Okay? Then write one paragraph of what you most want to say to him, or even one sentence or less. The one single message you most want to convey to him. Why? It's going to give you clarity. Lastly, you say, my biggest fear is that sharing with my husband is going to wreck me if it's not received well. I'm going to give you the straight truth, Andrea. You need to assume it's not going to be received well. Just assume it. Okay, then what? If it's not received well, if he doesn't tread gently in receiving it, if he says the wrong thing, let me ask you this. Will you be okay? Or will you end it all? Seriously. Would you end it all? Now, I'm betting you're probably going to pause there and then say, no, I wouldn't end it all. Oh, okay. So then what would you do? And you'd be like, well, it would hurt. And say, no, what would you do if you're not going to end it all? Well, I guess I'd go on living. I'd go, got my job on Monday. I'd go to my work, or I'd raise the kids. So you'd keep on living. Would you do things that make you feel really bad, or would you do things that make you generally happy? Well, no. I mean, my kids make me happy, or my job makes me happy, or, blah, blah. Oh, so you would continue to strive to find joy in life. I see. So there can still be joy in life, even if my husband doesn't receive it well. Of course, you want your husband to receive it well and make you feel good and support you and encourage you. But if he doesn't, life goes on. I will be okay. Right. Assume the worst, hope for the best. And then, again, journaling out, flushing out your feelings, or with your therapist, but I recommend doing the journaling, writing him letters you don't send, and so on and so forth. But also, when you are in it, assuming that he's going to disappoint, but also use that as an opportunity to tell him what you need. First of all, set it up for a time when he's going to be present. Honey, when would be a good time to talk? I have something I want to open up and share with you, but I just want you to be in a good space where you're open to listening, where we can be alone and uninterrupted and so forth. And then laying out to him, and he gets to pick. Let him pick one. And then laying out for him, sweetheart, I'm going to tell you something. It's very scary for me to share this, and I really need you to be present. And I'm wondering if we could both just turn off our phones and so forth. And I really need you to be present and treat this as sort of sacred ground and not just the grocery list. Tell him what you need. And don't be scolding, because this is scary ground for him too if he doesn't know how to do this, which clearly he doesn't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking this question. And walk him through it. Yes, it sucks that you have to do this while you're sharing it, but if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. But you got to do it. And in order to get this fear out of you, hey, man, you got to do it. Assume the worst. Assume he's going to mishandle it, but do your best to help him handle it while also doing your best in advance to flush out all your pain and your fears and so forth. And then afterwards, flush out all your sadness and the sense of letdown or whatever, or jubilation. How do you know that he won't step up, rise to the challenge? If you sort of help him through it, nudge him through it, tell him what you need. I need you. Here's a good one. I need you to be either positive or neutral, sweetheart. I can't handle negative, and I don't need you to fix me. And then one of Rob's great questions, say to him, I need you to ask me at times, do you want to be heard, helped, or hugged? Well, this time, sweetheart, I just need to feel heard. And maybe at the end, hugged. I don't need to be helped. Heard, helped, or hugged. That's a Rob special. All right, I'm going to take one more question, then we're done. Here we go. This person asks, this is really a great question. Angelo asks on TikTok, is it bad to use ChatGPT to get a deeper understanding of my feelings and thoughts in my journal? No. It's not bad to get a deeper understanding of my feelings and thoughts. No, as long as it's a touchstone and not the ultimate source of your insights, of your thoughts, of your brain, of your human therapist, or especially not of your own self. Hey, if it provides some insights that give you deeper questions or thoughts to kick around, yes. But like some grand diagnosis, no. Any more than you would listen to me as any grand diagnosis of anything. No, it's just one more potential touchstone to help you go deeper into yourself, to find deeper insights, deeper thoughts, compassion, whatever it might be. Rob, any final thoughts today?
Yeah, and one quick note here from Spirited Brunette on YouTube, who was very quiet about any negative comments about her ex for 10 years. And now the kids are grown in their early 20s and wants to know, I'm still self-censoring. Should I continue to do that? I'm wondering if there's a time limit on that.
Self-censoring around the kids?
Self-censoring about saying negative things about the ex after 10 years.
Yeah, and negative things to the kids.
Yeah. Is there a statute of limitations on that?
Well, that's a really great question. It depends on the age of the kids. I mean, 10 years, the kids could be...
They're 19 and 23.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. First of all, there's a difference between standing up for yourself and putting down the other person. Those are two different things. You have every right at any age to stand up for yourself. And you not only have a right, you have a responsibility. Because if you don't stand up for yourself, then that narrative that is coming from the other spouse is becoming cemented as the narrative in the minds of your kids. I did not stand up for myself. So the narrative being sold by my ex became the narrative to a medium or large degree in the minds of one or both my kids. So you have every right to stand up for yourself at any age. However, you're talking about something else. Gag order on yourself about the real truth about your ex. And my question is, first of all, you can do whatever the hell you want, but my question is, why do you want to say those things? First of all. Second of all, why do you not want to say those things? Okay? I would journal about these. My point is, in my kids' entire lives, particularly after... Well, really, even through their 20s, I can think of 3 things bad I ever said about their mother. Ever. To them. Why? When we were going through the divorce, when they were 3 and 6, the therapist said, worst thing you can ever do is disparage the other parent. So I never did. Of course, that theory only really works if both people are doing it. So she did not hesitate to do that. And so it's taken decades to sort of work past because the narrative got implanted in them. But I just decided to take the higher road, and it's paid off long term. I'm just curious why you feel the need to reveal these truths about the other person or disparage or whatever. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I really don't care one way or the other. I'm just wondering what the need is, what the desire is. Is it to get back at the other person? You've got to get down into what your feelings are, what your motivations are, why, what's really driving me. And literally, I just did a post on this today. I put it up on social, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And is your venom justified? You might want to look at that. How long we hang on to our venom, our rage, our righteous anger. And then lastly, it's only been now in their 30s that one of my kids actually came to me and literally came to me. I didn't even ask, and said, I'm finally ready. I can handle anything you want to say about Mom. And I didn't really even have anything to say. But I no longer have to hold back any of the stories because this particular child said, you don't need to hold back anymore, Pop. Thank you, but you don't need to anymore. And it's like 30 years ago, if this kid had said that to me, or 25 years ago, I'd be like, all right, let's go now. Have a seat. But now I'm like, maybe, a couple of things maybe have come up, whatever, but I don't have to self-censor and the kid's ready now and, things change, but you need to really look at why you want to do it. Is it desire for vengeance? Is it a desire for justice? Is it desire I'm just angry, or is it I'm sad, or what would be served by doing it? I'm not saying it's wrong, but you might want to explore that, looking into your own motivations before you do that even more deeply. Rob, good show.
Yo, very good. Enjoyed it.
All right, folks. Well, that's it. This has been a live taping of the Badass Counseling Show. As always, just fantastic questions. Some with quick answers, some with real deeper answers that force us to go deeper. Thanks, guys, for all of your questions from Australia to Belgium to the UK. Well represented today. Great to have everyone here joining this show. Thank you to everyone on behalf of my team. Have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.